is he the best defender on the team? No. But he's probably the most versatile.
Yes, you can play Isaiah Stewart in so many different lineups. I mean, that's the key word, versatility. I think Jalen Duren's more ready than a lot of people think. You got to give Jalen Duren, you got to let him loose. If you're on the floor and you're playing off ball from Jaden Ivey and Cade, you got to be able to knock down shots. So
if Cade Cunningham's a superstar, you're in the playoffs no matter what. First, an update on Jaden Ivey's status. Are we going to see him for the rest of the Summer League, or are they going to put him down?
Him and Beef Stew might be done for the rest of the Summer League. Number one, I've seen what I had to see out of Jaden Ivey. I'm not too concerned about that. I mean, 11 points in 5 minutes the game he got injured. I've seen everything. Like, he looks, the one thing I wanted to see out of Jaden Ivey is how does he look on a Summer League floor? Does he look like he is a man amongst boys? And I got that question answered. So he's probably done. It's a small ankle injury. It's just a tweak. He'll be all right, but you'd rather play it safe. I mean, this is a guy you want to play significant time come the regular season. So he'll be all right. He'll be out. Same with Beef Stew. I think Beef Stew showed enough already. So those two guys, I wouldn't expect him to play. But Jaden Ivey for sure, I don't think he'll be out there tonight.
Speaking of Beef Stew, talk about maybe outside Isaiah Livers and really Killian Hayes.
Yeah.
I think he's been the most improved player. Clearly, he's taken a three-point shot seriously.
Yep.
He's gotten better. What is it, 4 of 5 and then 5 of 6 in his 2 games?
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. I don't think that's the norm, right? I expect him to go back down to reality eventually. Yeah. But if Beef Stew can have a respectable three-point shot, one, Jeff, what does it do for the basketball team on the court? And two, as a guy that, let's just call it what it is he the best defender on the team? No. But he's probably the most versatile. Mm-hmm. He can guard 1 through 5 if needed. He can switch on the pick and roll. He's a guy that can hold his own. Is he an elite defender? No. Can he become an elite defender? Who knows?
Yeah.
But the point is, having that in your game, having that three-point shot available, I think changes the whole dynamic for this team.
Yeah, Isaiah Stewart's been him and Isaiah Livers, the two most impressive Pistons of Summer League. And Isaiah Stewart, like you said, you already hit on it, his ability to switch all 5 positions and now adding a three-point shot. Like that, he started every game last year for the Pistons and he wasn't shooting threes. He took some at times, but now you're getting an Isaiah Stewart who's confident. Now you can use him in so many different ways because if you have Bagley out on the floor with him, now you have one guy that can at least knock down shots. I know Bagley's inconsistent. Isaiah wasn't even taking threes last year, so just him adding that in his bag just makes him even a more valuable player. You could play him at the 4 or the 5 now, and you could play him in so many different lineups. I'm not too concerned with the spacing now. The ability to step out and hit threes, it's going to make him more dangerous in pick and rolls. Now it could be a pick and pop, his ability to shoot. And he's always had it too. I mean, if you watch him at Washington in college or in high school, he's had a jump shot. It's just about getting in the NBA and really getting the confidence to go out there and take NBA three-point shots. But listen, Isaiah Stewart, he's been the most impressive to me. That's why I don't really expect him to play. What does he have to show? I mean, he's Isaiah Stewart, and you know what he's going to bring day in and day out. So he might even be your starter come the regular season. I wouldn't be surprised if he's out there. He's a guy that Dwayne Casey trusts. And honestly, I get the Jalen Duren lovers, but let's be honest. Like, it's probably going to be Isaiah Stewart starting out there opening night. So
I think he should be the starter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Until Duren takes it from him. Mm-hmm. Until Duren plays to a level where I just can't keep. Honestly, you can have them both at the same time now on the court.
Yeah, you can.
With Isaiah Stewart developing a three-point shot, you can consider, he's not really, but you could consider him your stretch 4 at certain points throughout the game.
Yep.
You can have a legitimate 5 in there. You have your paint protector. You have a guy that can run the court also in Duren. And then you have 3 guards/forwards on the court. And that's a good lineup. It makes for an interesting matchup for teams. How do you deal with all that size on the court at the same time? And then I would say the caveat to it is, well, how do the Pistons deal with smaller lineups? Is Isaiah Stewart on the court, or do you trust Jalen Duren? How does that look?
I would put Isaiah out there. I mean, he's 6'8". Like you said, he can switch 5 positions. You could realistically do a small ball lineup of Killian Hayes, you can do Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey at the 2, Sadiq Bey at the 3, Isaiah Livers at the 4, and then you can have Isaiah Stewart out there at the 5. I mean, that's the ability to switch all positions. You have the spacing, the shooting you need for Jaden Ivey and Cade Cunningham to be at their best. Because, listen, you saw what Jaden Ivey did in transition, man. Like, you need spacing. And if you have Livers and Stewart out there, all 5 guys on the court can shoot. And that's kind of what you want, especially if you're going small. So, yes, you can play Isaiah Stewart in so many different lineups. I mean, that's the key word, versatility. So that's what he brings. That's his value. And Dwayne Casey's going to have fun making some lineups because you can do a lot with these guys.
Yeah, I think they're going to have a lot of flexibility. Very
Absolutely.
Interested to see how they go about putting rotations together for this team. Speaking of Summer League action, Killian Hayes is a guy that shined. They've already shut him down for Summer League. What did you see out of Killian Hayes game one that encouraged you going into the season? And two, what do you need to see out of Killian Hayes this year to say, you know what? That's a successful pick. That's a guy that we can have a part of this team moving forward.
I think Killian's been a guy who he can put up decent numbers. I mean, what is he, 10, 5, and 4, whatever it is. But again, it's about the efficiency. Like, are you shooting 29, 30% from three? That's what I'm looking for. It's not about really the shot attempts. I know what Killian Hayes is right now. He's a guy who's going to make the right play. He's not going to go out and take 15 shots. He's going to go out and take a couple shots and fit in where he fits in. And you like him. Everyone wants him to be more aggressive. I get that. But that's just not his game. Like, if you watch the Summer League, the very first game, he walks into the Summer League with that big, very big, significant role. He's a starting point guard, and he still takes like 5 shots. Like, that's just not his game. So for Killian to be where I would be proud of him, it would be the efficiency numbers. Can you get that three-point percentage up to 35%? Can you get your field goal percentage to mid-40s? That's what I'm looking for, because I know what he brings defensively. I know what he's going to bring, offensively with his playmaking ability, his rebounding ability. It's really, Adam, it's just about the efficiency. Like, can you be efficient? If you're on the floor and you're playing off ball from Jaden Ivey and Cade, you got to be able to knock down shots. So that's what I'm looking for. Not the shot attempts. It's really the efficiency. Like, can you be efficient?
I'm game for it. Another thing that's interesting, they traded for Nerlens Noel.
Yeah.
As part of the trade, you did it to get what you wanted. I have no problem with it. I don't think I want Nerlens Noel playing more than 6-8 minutes a night, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he might not.
And 0, preferably.
Yeah.
Where is his role moving forward? I don't want to sacrifice Duran's playing time for Nerlens Noel. I personally have no interest in, even in that scenario, is Noel such a significant upgrade over Duran at the 5 this year as a rim protector? Maybe, but boy, the ceiling between the two, it's night and day.
Yeah, it is. And that's kind of my issue, too. At first, when you got Nerlens Noel, I'm understanding, like, all right, he's your bridge to Duran. But again, Adam, we didn't see Duran play. So the fact that you got to see Duran out there in the Summer League, he looks physically already, he's physically ready. I mean, as it is. It's really about mentally. Learning the scheme, getting used to the Dwayne Casey system, because Dwayne Casey loves his vets, and he's going to ease you into playing. So if Jalen Duran comes out and he looks more ready than we thought he'd be, like a lot of people speculated, is he going to play in the G League? I wouldn't say so, looking at how he's performed in the Summer League and just how ready he looks. But again, you may have a season where Nerlens Noel doesn't play at all. I think he's more there, again, like if Isaiah Stewart or anybody gets hurt, you have Nerlens Noel that can come in and give you solid minutes. But again, I agree with everything you're saying. You got to give Jalen Duran, you got to let him loose. Especially during a season you don't expect to win a ton of games. You might as well give him the most reps you can. So I think at first he was supposed to be the bridge, but now looking at it, hindsight 2020, I think Jalen Duran's more ready than a lot of people think. So Nerlens Noel might just be one of those guys that are just going to be ready when his name is called. That's pretty much it.
All right. I do want to touch on the job Troy Weaver has done. I'm going to try to explain this in layman terms, simple. 18 months. What could you do in 18 months if you were an NBA GM? What do you think you could accomplish? If I gave you one of the worst rosters in basketball, what do you think you could do? Honestly.
That's tough.
How long do you think it would take you to turn around the team if I gave you the worst franchise roster ever assembled, probably? Horrible contracts. Awful players. No value. What, you'd say typically
years.
40 years, right? To rebuild and get out of it? In 18 months, we went from Bruce Brown, Svi, Luke Kennard, Siku, Christian Wood, Jordan Boone. To Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Sadiq Bey, Isaiah Stewart, Jalen Duran, Marvin Bagley. We don't even talk about Bagley anymore. It's insane. Killian Hayes, Isaiah Livers. In 18 months. That's like going from, you know that show, The Fat Loser, or what is it called? The Biggest Loser?
Biggest Loser.
That's like going from 500 pounds to 140 ripped, no fat on you in 6 months.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
It's unrealistic.
It's unheard of. It doesn't work like that. It takes years to get all that off. Like that to me is the job Troy Weaver's done. Now that we're here, young team, up and coming, expectations for the season, and also we need to rework now what we think of this team. There are going to be expectations down the road.
Right.
Do I think it's playing this year? I personally don't. But it wouldn't surprise me. Cade Cunningham, we agree, is going to be a superstar.
Yeah.
Or we believe he can be one. If Cade Cunningham's a superstar, you're in the playoffs no matter what.
Yeah. I think right now my expectation, I'm going to still have it at contending for the play-in. I think that's realistic, like to what your point is. I mean, the East is tough. I mean, the Pacers are now reportedly throwing an offer sheet at DeAndre, and they might sign DeAndre. And so, like, more guys are coming to the East. It's tough out there. It's the new West, like back in the day. I think the Pistons right now in a position, like, they're not – I saw Ashton tweeted out they'll be a 6th seed. That's tough. Like, you're banking on Jaden Ivey in his rookie year to have a spectacular year, which he could – but also Jalen Duren to come out there and play hard, and everybody just to play their best basketball, which could happen. But for me, I'm going to sit here and say they should contend for the play-in. That's realistic. Cade in his second year, I think he'll be much better, as we all expect. But again, like, just temper the expectations, because you have a key part of your lineup and your rotation and your foundation is in his rookie season. Like, we're going to see some lows of Jaden Ivey. We'll see some highs, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, 6th seed or bust. Considering how Troy Weaver approached free agency, it tells me too, Adam, like, he's probably expecting the same thing. Like, just contend for the play-in. We'll see progress. That's all it is.
This is a great comment. Troy Weaver's out here playing 2K. 100%. 100%. I don't know how he's doing it, but God bless him.
Unrealistic.
Jeff, thanks so much for joining us this week.